afternoon, or shall we say good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome, everyone. And sure enough, yep, we're getting set up over here. I tell you, good evening, Miss folks who join us on Facebook, Archie and Tanisha Glassby, Linda Evans, Richard Shuttle, James Marshall, Margot, good evening, Phyllis Reese Jones, all you folks, good evening, all the folks who join us on the conference call line. I did something, like I said, I very seldom do, Miss Abram. And by the way, Miss Abram, how are you today?
I am doing wonderful, Mr. Beth. How are you and the Beth household?
Outstanding, outstanding. Look, I been running so hard. I think I called you once this afternoon, I think once this afternoon, maybe yesterday. I don't know, man. These folks got me running. And it's exciting. I'm excited to be running, excited to be busy. You know, all the folks who joined us on the call. Tonight's subject, I said, was I text out everybody how what was the title? How to have a great meeting, or how to have a great meeting and event. How to conduct a meeting and an event. And so I actually set up notes. No, the purpose of a meeting / event. The purpose. That's what I want to talk about tonight. Because, man, look, I guess I want to teach you something tonight, give you some things to really think about, because we have these meetings taking place all over the world now. And so I figured I'd throw some things out there that might help folks in conducting their meeting. So anyway, welcome around the street. Let me go ahead and get started. So, because of course, after tonight we have the launch party. The launch party with Miss Tanisha Glassby. Thank you, Tanisha, for hosting those. Hey, good evening, Miss Deborah Nixon, Cynthia Oxley, Myrtle Placid. Good evening, Miss Sharon Horace Borkins, Mr. Wayne Thompson right here in Chesapeake, Virginia. Well, he's over in Suffolk. I'm sorry. Getting the Thompson twins mixed up. Michael Lang, good evening. Good evening, everyone. Mr. Kenny Brown, Kenny C. Good evening. So let me say this. Okay. What is the purpose of a meeting? And so I want to make sure we're all on the same page. And tonight, I would encourage you to take some notes. Most of the time, I don't necessarily talk about that because I'm talking about attitude things, but I'm going to really talk about some fundamental things we want to take notes of, especially as you started. We got more and more people doing meetings. And look, I understand the purpose of a meeting, and I understand we can do the meetings. What's so great about Carrier Bars is that we can do the business all over the world, so a meeting is not necessarily required. But there is something that comes from having face-to-face, meeting eyeball to eyeball, and there's a different type of energy that is derived from having a meeting. So a meeting is important. So don't misunderstand that. But for those who are waiting for a meeting to come to their city, and they think a meeting is standing between them and success, that's just not true. Okay, think about your business from a global perspective. Many of us come into the business right now, and we still think too small. Good evening, Miss Sherry Brown. We think too small. We see the business in our town. We see the business in Compton. We see the business in Newport News, Virginia, or in Hampton, or in North Carolina. Wherever we are, we see the business through our eyes, and we don't see the business through the bigness that it really is. Because you're sitting there, maybe in Compton, or maybe you're in the San Fernando Valley. You're in San. It doesn't matter where you are. Wherever you are, you limit yourself if that's as big as you can see the business, and you got to have a meeting to get your business off the ground. That's just not true. What happens when you enroll somebody in Nigeria, or somebody in Cape Town, or somebody in Germany, or somebody in Japan, or somebody in Mexico? You got to go to have a meeting just to get them started all the time? No. That's the power of all this technology we have. Okay? So a meeting is not required to get your business launched. For those who are waiting to have a meeting to get their business launched, you're surely mistaken. Meetings are a result of having a lot of groundwork done before the meeting ever takes place. So what is the purpose of a meeting? The purpose of a meeting, number one, well, let me back up. When is a good time to have a meeting? You just got started today, and you want to have a meeting, let's say at your home, and you have somebody responsible, an upline person who understands the business to some degree, and not so much understanding, because I don't want you to stop again and start slowing your business down because you feel like you don't understand. What they need to have is conviction. They need to be sold out on what we're doing. Good evening, Mr. Reginald Best, my brother. They need to be sold out on what we're doing. That's who you need doing the meeting. You can have a person who got 3-4 years experience, but if they're not, don't have as much conviction, or if they can't convey conviction like somebody who's been in for 2 months, I'd rather have that person who's ignorance on fire than knowledge on ice. I prefer ignorance on fire in front of the room every day versus knowledge on ice, because I'm telling you, I know this is not what I think, it's what I know. 90%, 95% of people sitting in the room do not understand what you just said. When you explain the business to them, you spend an hour up there explaining all the business, all the ins out of Carabots and showing the videos and all that stuff and talking about cryptocurrency and blockchain. Man, let me tell you, they do not know what you're talking about. What inspires them to make a decision that night is the energy in the room. It's the excitement in the room. The what they feel from the meeting, not what they see, what they heard. What they see, what they heard, as long as you didn't say anything to alienate them, okay, they'll get involved. Okay, because they get caught up in the emotion of the moment. Say, man, all these folks believe. So the purpose of the meeting is not necessarily to launch your business off the ground. That's not their first meeting. Okay, but let's say if you are having a meeting in your house and you one of those people that you know this about yourself. If you're not the type of person who had people congregating at your house all the time, you're not going to become that person overnight. If you're the kind of person who never invited people in and out of your house and people didn't come to your house on Sunday afternoon or Saturday afternoon and they went barbecue at your house, man, you're not going to have a great meeting at your house. It's just not going to happen in most cases. And most of us today, we're somewhat of isolationists. We like to do things our own. Our home is where we're private. Okay. Now, my mother was in next. My mother's always had people in and out of her house from the time I was a child. So we call a meeting at my mother's house. People used to come to my mother's house on Sunday afternoon, getting food, saying hello to her. What, Miss Bess, what you cook? So when she called a meeting at her house, yeah, a lot of folks show up because that's something they're used to doing. But if you're not having people over your house, all of a sudden you are, don't expect your house to be a great meeting. And that's not an excuse not to do one. If you feel like you can get 5 or 6 people at your house and your sponsor want to come over and explain the business to them, do that, okay? But what I'm talking about now is the meeting, the event, in a public facility where everyone is welcome, where everybody's welcome, okay, when you're doing that type of meeting. So let's talk about number one. That's the meeting I'm talking about. I'm not talking about your getting started meeting, because you can do the launch meeting right there tonight. If you got new people got started in the last 48 hours, man, you need to have them on that launch meeting tonight at 11 o'clock on goldrocks.info. Now, let's talk about what's the purpose of the meeting. Number one, the purpose of the meeting is to recruit new people. Okay? Now, I really shouldn't call that number one, but I'm going to call that number one anyway, so we'll always keep that in mind. We always want to be recruiting new people. That's why we're doing the meeting. That's why we're having the meeting. That's why we're having the event. That's why we have the Wealth Builders Worldwide event. And that's what we call it. Wealth, I don't care what it is. It's not a meeting. It's not a private go reception. It's a Wealth Builders Worldwide event. It's an event all around the world. We're having events. It's a special occasion. It's something unique. It's something special. It's an event. A meeting, everyone goes to meetings, but not everyone goes to events. You understand the terminology. Words have power, folks. Okay? So let's say your number one goal is to recruit new people. Okay, now how do you have a successful meeting in your city if you're just getting started? Well, if you just got started last week and you go rent a hotel room and you start inviting everybody, passing out flyers, all that goofy stuff, I'm going to tell you right now, you're not going to have a successful meeting. New people are not going to come to your meeting because you passed out 10,000 flyers. Not going to happen. Okay? And I know people who've done that, and sometimes people call me and say, man, I had 10,000 flyers made for the meeting. I just smile and say, they should have asked me first. They'd asked me first, I would have said, save that couple $100. I mean, you might have one show, you might have two shows. How do you build a successful meeting? Well, I'm going to get back to how you build a successful meeting. But let's talk about the purpose first, and then we'll get back to the meeting. Lord have mercy, I'm already 15 minutes into the thing. I haven't covered what I wanted to cover. Okay, it's designed to recruit new people. The second purpose, this might be the most important one, more than the first one. Okay, is to inspire, inform, and recruit the existing people once again. Okay? Now, if some of you haven't already figured this out, you would notice that if you're doing a meeting in your city, if you're in a consistent meeting every Saturday or every Tuesday or every Monday, whatever, or once a month, you'll notice that it's probably 60, 70, 80% of the people in the meeting are already in the business. So who is the meeting really for? The meeting is for the people who are already in the business. The meeting is for the blue dots. It's for the people who are already excited. It's for the people who are interested. You know why? Because those are the people who are going to show up. You're not going to invite 100 people who don't know anything about Carrot Bars to your meeting on Saturday and expect them to show. That's why if you're brand new, having a meeting in your city, you're brand new, so I'm renting a hotel, and all my friends are going to show up. No, what your friends are going to do is disappoint you. Okay? Don't do that. Do the grassroots first. Unless you're somebody with significant sphere of influence, you're not going to pack a room full of people. By significant sphere of influence, I mean you're a celebrity. You're somebody they've seen on TV. Or you have a pastor, you have a huge church, and you know your church is going to come, and you're doing the meeting right at your church after service. Otherwise, don't go rent that public facility until you've done the grassroots work. And what's the grassroots work? That means you're out there, you're driving people to the realmoney.info. You're driving people to Tuesday presentation. You're driving people to the Thursday night presentation. You're constantly driving. You just got started. You're in the middle of Cedar Falls Hour or Cedar Rapids Hour by yourself. You're just getting started. That is not time for you up there to hop on the car and fly out there because you're gonna book a hotel and all your friends gonna come. No. Okay, people call me all the time, want me to come do a meeting. I said, I will not come do a meeting until you've done some grassroots. Ask Mr. Delco. I didn't come to Atlanta. He'd been in business about 9 or 10 months, almost a year. Okay, now I could have came before then, but they had such momentum going. I knew we could have a good weekend, and we made it a weekend event and made it special. I knew that from experience because you can launch that business, and that was the launch, truly. That was truly the launch of the entire organization, Wealth Builders Worldwide. Okay, that was the launch. So that's how you go having a good meeting. You see these meetings I'm going to now, like the meeting we did in the DMV last weekend. That meeting was, I think I love Mr. Rodney Roach. He posted a picture. This was our first Super Saturday. I think they had, 30, 40 people in the room. This is 2 years later, 400 plus people in the room. Okay? It takes time to build those numbers. Don't think you're going to build those numbers. Those numbers came about just because one guy said, posted on the Wealth Builders Worldwide site and everybody showed up. Okay? So now, the purpose is to recruit new people, yes, but understand 10 to 15% of the people are going to be there new for the first time, looking at the business for the first time. About 30, 40% going to be blue dots. People been around for a while, saw the interested. They might even be saving gold, but they don't understand what this business is all about. They don't know, so they're coming out. And then if you have a guest speaker coming in town, they're coming to see this guy. They're coming to see Roger Williams. They're coming to see Tanisha Glass. They're coming to see Mr. Michael L. Delco. They're coming to see Ty Best. They're coming to see Kevin Thomas. They're coming to see Ryan. They're coming to see this Gold Direct Elite, this person full-time in the business, whatever the story is. And we're going to talk about promotion before this is over. So number one, you want to recruit new people. Number two, you want to inspire the people already there. And I don't care. Look, and some of you realize, you've been doing meetings every weekend, every week, once a week, and you guys got the same 10 or 15 people coming to the meeting. Stop. Stop doing them. Because what you're doing is you're hurting not only your belief, you're hurting their belief. You got a meeting of 15, the same 15 or 20 people come every week. Stop doing the meeting. Okay? Because number one, the meeting's being taken for granted. If you look around, you got the same people coming week after week after week. You need to reduce that meeting to about once a month, maybe twice a month, until the grassroots effort required is being done to fill that room or to make that meeting an exciting meeting. You're looking at new people. I'm just sharing this with you. This is what I've learned from experience. People who come long before I came. This is what the meeting's all about. The third thing is to get why we want to do the meeting, to get the team started right, on the same page. Because a lot of folks have been around for a year. They're not started right. They don't know how to start properly. They forget about the map. They forget about myww.net. They forget to plug in. They just forget. Or better yet, they're being reignited. They'll come back in, but they've never really got started properly. So you want to remind them, get started properly. Get in, follow the map. Send a welcome letter out to all your new people who sign up. I am shocked by how many people do not send a welcome letter to their new people that get in. We got it already put up in the back office, and the welcome letter tells them what to do. You know the primary reason to send out that welcome letter? So you don't get it right now because you might be sponsored one a week. You got time to babysit that person. You talking to them. But as you start getting a team, you don't sponsor 20, 30, 40 people. And all of a sudden, the company is sending you once or twice a week. You get an email say, a new person on your front line. You're so excited. Man, you don't have time to sit back and babysit everybody's hands. So one thing I want to do is send them out their welcome letter so they know exactly what to do next. They can never come back to you and say, I didn't know what to do. If they can read that welcome letter, it tells them step by step what to do next. So when you're having that meeting, you want to remind people, hey, go to Wealth Builders Worldwide, get yourself plugged in, or you send out the welcome letter to me. It's sort of a training session and a recruiting session at the same time. Okay? Fourth reason for having a meeting, you want to plug people into the relationships. Relationships are the things that glues people together. I mean, if you've been listening to the power calls every day, what are people saying? They can't wait to get Let's Go Weekend. Why? Because Tyrone going to drop some profound wisdom, going to change their business. Or Mr. Delco going to drop some profound wisdom, going to change their business. Or Miss Shirley Gober going to show them the secret of business. No. All you over and over again is I can't wait to get to Let's Go Weekend, to get my hugs, to get my kisses, to see more people, to see my family. That's why people come to Let's Go Weekend. Yes, they're going to get some information. Yes, they're going to get some facts and some figures. They'll get some stuff. But primarily what they're coming for is the relationships. And in your local area, that's why you have a meeting at least once a month. Why? To solidify and keep the glue and the bond of their relationships. People get together. They want to go out to eat. They want to go eat afterwards. They want to go eat before. All those things are part. That's a secret to the business. So many companies don't know this. Okay? It's a secret to the business. Okay? Relationships. That's why you have that meeting once a month or once a week. You never have a meeting. And then fourth, reason for the meeting is to recognize local leaders. Recognize emerging leaders. Okay, that's why if anyone has been to any meeting I've done, I'm always calling people out in the audience, calling people to stand up. Now, if I'm hosting the meeting myself, I'm there. I'm always in that meeting with 4 or 5 of the local leaders. People come up and say something, if only for 30 seconds to a minute. Recognition is a big part of what we do. And so every time you have a meeting, you've got to set aside time to recognize the local leaders, the people who've been out there pushing this thing, promoting this thing. Why? Because when you promote and you recognize them, you're also building leadership and you're building their confidence as a speaker one little bit at a time. They come up front in the room, all nervous and jittery the first time, and they speak for about 10 or 15 seconds. And as the months go by, they go to a minute, then 2 minutes, then 3 minutes. And by the 5th or 6th months or a year into the business, you got to take the microphone from them. But then they're ready to stand in front of the room. You're a teacher and you got people growing at the same time. You always got to be thinking about what am I doing to help grow my leaders on my team, to grow the leaders. So they, look, Dominique, I think he said it best. Your goal in networking is not to be so unique, to be so special. What you want to be is replaceable. Okay? I make a lot of mistakes. I say a lot of things on purpose for a reason. I don't want you impressed with me. Okay? I want you to respect what I'm doing, but I don't necessarily want you impressed and so impressed and enamored or awed by the great Tyrone that you scared and you think, I can't do this thing. Man, if I could be Ty Best, or if I could be Kevin Thompson, or if I could be Mike and Monisha Delco, or if I could be Sheila Abram. Man, forget that. You just got to be confident you. Okay? But you don't come in confidence. That's why this morning's power call, Miss Sherry Brown, thank you one more time for your due diligence and finding the kind of message that just resonates with people. Because what did Robert Kiyosaki say? That one of the greatest things about networking, you can come in where you are, and as an entrepreneur, you can start to learn the mindset, the habits, the skill set to become an entrepreneur, and you didn't mortgage your house to do it. You didn't go $500,000 in debt to make mistakes. You came in here, paid a couple $1,000s or whatever you paid, from anywhere from $150,000 to $1 million now to get started, okay? And you can learn along the way, and you can't do anything that's going to bankrupt your business. There are a lot of businesses out there, man, you make one mistake and you bankrupt and you done. Or the bank calling the loan at the last minute because they didn't like something you said or something did or politics or whatever, and you out of business. In our business, all you got to do is get started for a minimum fee and then duplicate. So anyway, so that fifth point I want to say is recognition. Recognize, make sure in every meeting you're doing that you recognize the local leaders in that room. You recognize, I don't care if they're not in your down line, your pay line. I hate to say down, your pay line. Recognize them anyway. Recognize everybody. Show respect for everyone. And remember what I say all the time. Everybody has a sign on their forehead that says, make me feel important. Make me feel important. Make me feel important. I'm telling you. The secret to us going to 1 million people in Wealth Builders Worldwide is every time somebody comes to a Wealth Builders meeting, a Wealth Builders Power Call, Wealth Builders anything, they feel welcome and they feel important. They feel they're vital. Somebody's recognizing who they are. Okay? And then the sixth point I want to make. What's the purpose of a meeting? What's the purpose of a meeting or an event? To promote the next meeting and event. To promote the next meeting and event. Every time promote the next thing, the next thing, the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. You're constantly in promotion mode. Think about this for a minute, folks. We do not sell gold. We do not sell coins. We do not sell packages. We don't have to sell that stuff. All we have to do is provide the information about that stuff. Provide the information, provide the facts, provide the material, and people will make that purchase decision on their own. We don't sell gold. We educate people on why they should be saving gold in a proper saving instrument that will outpace inflation. That's all we're doing. I have not sold any gold in 5 years. But I've had millions of dollars of gold move through the organization. Why? Because we provide the information to help you make a proper, educated decision. And I do mean we, not me. I said we, the system. I don't know what our business would be like without the messages from Mr. Allen Austin. I don't know what our system would be like without the continuous YouTube videos and education training videos from Mr. Delco. What would our system be like? What would our system not be like without the diligence of Mr. Rodney and Cindy Berger all the time? What would our system be like with all the leaders? What would our system be like? Look, with Crypto Steve teaching people about crypto all the time. Sheila Abram and Stephen Norris. I mean, good God, what would our system be like if everybody wasn't hands on deck when it came time to get that 35% done? I mean, we got people out there like Eunice Herring who just, I mean, she might have helped 50 to 100 plus people on her own time. People in her downline, people not in her downline. Man, you haven't seen anything like this team we have in our place right now. Okay, so anyway, promote the next event. The next event, the next event, the next event. Okay? Now, I'm serious. So you got to understand. So why are you doing a meeting? Ask yourself, why am I doing this meeting? Okay? It's a meeting. It's a team huddle. It's bringing the team together. And yes, some new people come that night and they get in. That's great. But your number one priority, yeah, it's new people. You know what I mean? For the new people. That's why it's okay if you tell the same joke, say the same thing, because you're not talking to people who've been there week after week after week. You're talking to the new people. Okay? The new folks. That's who you're talking to. Okay, but you also got to put something in there. You got to think as that's why you got to read all the time. You got to be motivated all the time because you got to have something there for the existing people too. People who've been around for a year, 2 years, and now they're just getting excited, and this is their first meeting. In fact, they're coming out just because this guy, whoever, is coming to town. And I do mean whoever, because like I said, a prophet's a prophet to save where in his own hometown, in his own country. Why? I mean, I go to Richmond, Virginia. Pastor Gasky will tell you. They average 15 to 20 people to the meeting on Wednesday, on Monday night, Tuesday night when they're doing the meeting. And then, okay, here's Ty Best, Go Directly League coming into town, and 100 plus people show up. We pack out the house. Why? They come in to see here the new guy. Same thing. I go to D.C. I go anywhere I go. It's the same thing. Anywhere you go. That's why I encourage everybody. You want to see your group blow up and grow? Get your team out of town. Get your team out of town. Get a team out of your hometown. Continue to focus on your hometown, but get your group and let your team see you going out of town, work with the other group, and they say, man, he's committed. See, it's their commitment they're following. It's your commitment they're following. And they will start to duplicate what you're doing. They see you traveling, you going out of town, and you're paying the price, they will start to pay the price. But if they think you're at home all the time, watching TV, sitting back, making money, just laughing and joking, they're going to plateau too. That's why there's so many organizations in the world, the network market, so many companies that get to 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, and they sit down, they sit flat, and they never grow beyond 2, 3 million. Why? Because the leadership's gotten fat, happy, and comfortable. Yeah, I said it. You can't, if the company's doing 3 million a year, 3 million a month, you can't take it to 10 million a month watching TV. If you're the leader, you got to be out there. You want to get to 20 grand a month, you can't be comfortable at 10. You got to still be out there running. You want to get to $100,000 a month, your team got to see you running. You want to take your income to $1 million a month, you got to still be running. Sherry Thompson said, you got to be a servant leader. Servant leadership is setting the example. Anyway, whoo, boy, I'm getting cranked up. Ms. Abram, what time is it? I'm gonna do this thing quick, then I'm gonna be done. I'm gonna tell you. What time is Ms. Abram? What is gonna bring my watch down here?
Well, Mr. Best, we are got a half hour more to go to the top of the hour.
Okay, all right. I'll be finished in about 2 hours, guys. I'm fired up. So anyway, I want to talk about how to have a great meeting. How to have a great meeting. Now, look, I'm convinced you can have a meeting almost any location. But now do understand that our product is gold. So you must keep that in mind. Where we have the meeting must represent the product. This is not necessarily a meeting you do at the Comfort Inn. Okay? I wouldn't necessarily say it's a meeting you do at Denny's restaurant. But hey, if you're going to do one there, go ahead and do it there. But you got to keep in mind, again, you want to attract people who have a money consciousness, and the environment should say something like that. It doesn't have to be the Marriott all the time. It doesn't have to be the Embassy Suites. It doesn't have to be the Ritz-Carlton. But it can't be Motel 8. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not criticizing Motel 8. They do what you got to do. But I'm saying you can do a meeting at the Comfort Inn. You can do a meeting. Just make sure it's a professional environment that you're doing the meeting, especially if it's a public meeting and it's going to represent Caribau's International. And you're not representing Caribau's International. You're an independent affiliate, and you're going to represent Wealth Builders Worldwide or your team affiliation. Make sure it represents what you're trying to attract. Okay? Keep that in mind. Now, so set up the meeting. Number one. First thing is, whenever you do an event, I'm telling you, folks, please post your event. Get your event posted on the mywbw.net site. Get it posted. Why? Because there are so many orphans run Motel 6. Yeah, there's so many orphans running around in the world of Caribau's all over the world. And they're looking for a meeting. That's why once you've done the grassroots work and you know you got 10 or 15 people who are sort of interested in what you're doing, now you can book that meeting about a month in advance. Okay, now you start telling people, hey, Mr. Delco's coming to Seattle. Mr. Delco's coming to Portland. Mr. Delco's coming to Kansas. Whoever he's coming, or Ty Best is coming. Whoever's coming in town, give yourself a week to 2 weeks to promote that thing that everybody's already existing on the team, and you're going to pack the house. Okay? You're going to pack the house, but give yourself at least a week to 2 weeks to promote that meeting. Somebody asked me, why don't I pop up and do secret meetings? I said, because that's no advantage. If I secretly pop in and do a meeting, it can create some stories and buzz. So, man, you missed the meeting, missed the best for you last night. Google. But it's more powerful if they know that leader is coming in from out of town to do that meeting. I got asked today, Tyrone, we need you in Trinidad. I said, well, I'm already booked for the next 3-4 months. I don't see that happening anytime soon. Okay, I want to go to Cape Town, to Florida, to South Africa. But anyway, another story. I'm getting off track. Set up your meeting. Now, you want to set up. Now, this is me, the guy who shows up late all the time. But I'm not setting up the meeting. If you're setting up the meeting, you want to be there 1 hour early, at least, and you'll have that meeting already set up to go about 30 minutes at least before the meeting starts. Why? Because there's always that left-brain analytical person going to show up early. The meeting starts at 7. They're there at 6:15 waiting. They can't help it. They're always there at 6. So they can't help it. They want people going to be punctual, and the idea of being punctual is to be 30 minutes early. And they sitting there. And then their other problem is when the meeting don't start at 7 o'clock, they got there at 6:30. You told them you start at 7. At quarter to 7, you come there and start setting up. Well, they already irritated by that. They said, who's organizing this thing? Okay? Okay, thank God it's not me. But that's what I'm just telling. Now what I'm doing, I'm teaching. That don't mean I do everything I teach, but I know what to do. And typically, if I'm hosting the meeting, I will be there early. If I'm the host, if I'm putting on the meeting, I'm going to get there early. That's my commitment. I'm the host of the meeting. If I'm the speaker, I'm going to roll in about meeting time. But if I'm hosting that meeting, I'm getting there early to have the meeting set up before the meeting starts. Okay? Because I don't want that person sitting there from 6:30 to 7, and then we start at 7:15. That's another thing. Start that meeting no less than 10 minutes after start time. Always no less than 2 hours. To respect the people who came there early. I don't care if the room looks sparse. I don't care if you set a room for 50 and 5 showed up at 17. You start that meeting and others get it when they get it. Don't let your meeting start drifting off into lateness. You know what I wanted to say. Anyway, if it starts at 7, by 7:10, you need to be talking. Somebody be in front of the room talking and got that meeting started, period. If the speaker's late, somebody else need to come up and start speaking, period. Okay? Start that meeting on time. Okay? Set up the room. Watch this. In this setup, you always set your meeting up for less than you expect to be there. If you expect 20 people to be at your meeting, set up 10 chairs. It's always, I told Mr. Delco when we first got started, Mr. Delco, this is organized chaos. It looked chaotic to people, but it creates excitement. If you have a room set up for 10 and 25 show up, people say, oh my God, the meeting's packed. There's only 20 people in the room. If you have the room set up for 30 and 50 show, they go, oh my God, what a great meeting, man. The meeting's packed. Now, this is true. This is just a psychological thing that happens to folks when they walk into a room. But if they walk into a room set up for 100 people and 60 people in the room and 40 chairs are empty, they said, man, this meeting was not really successful. All the people they expected to show up didn't show up. Now, this is critical for you to understand this. I've done meetings with 30 people in the room, man, and people are bouncing off the walls because the room was set up properly. And I did a meeting one time. I went to California and did a meeting. I told these leaders, I said, look, set the room for like 300 people. Oh, no, it's going to be so much. We got this room for 1,000. I said, I don't care if you got a room for 1,000. Set up 300 chairs, okay? And when we get there, if more show up, you bring out the chairs. Well, guess what? 400 people did show up. The room was 400 people. And that's a great meeting anywhere. But the problem was the room was set up with 1,000 chairs already in place. It looked like there was nobody at the meeting. And it was 400 people there. And I'm telling you, God be my witness, it's one of the worst meetings I've ever conducted in my lifetime. I could not connect with that 400 people because the room looked empty. When all they had to do was set up 300 chairs in that room. That room would be jam-packed. It would be one of the most exciting meetings. And that group would have exploded. It hindered the growth of the whole organization. That one little mistake, which was a big mistake. Set up the room for less than what you anticipate always. Get a room that will hold the size, but always set the room for less. So if you expect 300 people in a room, get a room set for 250. Get a room set for 200. They can always bring in more chairs. Always bring in more chairs. Okay? Everybody got that? I hope you got that. Set the room up in theater style. Don't get all creative and how you're going to set the room in theater style. You got to have an aisle to the left, an aisle in the middle, and an aisle to the right so people can get up, go to the bathroom, do the things they got to do. Or when those folks come in late, they can walk in and sit down. Set up theater style. Okay? You should have a registration desk out front. You have a registration desk. You can register the people already in the business, the affiliates. And typically when you have a meeting, the affiliates are contributing anywhere from $5 to $20 or more. It depends on what the meeting is, what kind of meeting it is. But by the way, and for those who don't feel like they should have to contribute to the meeting, understand something. Look at the meeting as if it's your meeting. So don't look at the meeting as if it's my meeting, or Kevin Thompson's meeting, or Rodney Roach's meeting, or Cameron Gamble's meeting. Look at it as your meeting, okay? Do you want to absorb the $400 hotel cost every time you do a meeting? No. So what this is a shared expense, okay? Don't look at it like, oh, Mr. Delco making all the money. He can just pay for the meeting or pay for dinner. Every time you sit down with Mr. Delco, he got to pay. I'm telling you, no, it's wrong. In fact, you should be paying for his dinner. You should be paying for his, I'm just telling you the truth. He has the experience. Okay? Every time you sit down with Shirley Gold, we should not expect her to buy dinner. Now, she graciously does. Okay? And yes. But it's not about can you afford to or not. It's about an attitude, folks. It's an attitude. Okay? It's an attitude. I hope you understand this. So when you call that hotel meeting and you just getting started and you grapple about paying $5 or $10, you go into a seminar that could change your life. You're going to have information from people who've already walked the battle, done the battle. Man, please. And you don't want to pay $10 or $5 or $20 for that event, for that knowledge and information. And people out here paying $200,000 to go to college to learn how to go get a job, maybe. It's a bargain. Anytime there's a Wealth Builders Worldwide event and somebody says, give me $5 or $10 or $20, man, you should pay it with a smile on your face. Oh, my God, I'm getting this life-changing information for $20. You should be glad to contribute. Lucky. Hey, go to one of them real estate seminars where they ask you for $200 or $100. Or better, they tell you, come in for free. And then they said, now, they got you in and they spent a whole 2 hours selling you on why you need to pay $500 to come to their weekend event. Okay? So if you haven't been there, those who've been doing the real estate stuff, they know what I'm talking about. Oh, yeah, so-and-so's coming in town. Okay? It's all on TV. And you go down there and say, free, come to the free. They don't tell you nothing at their free seminar. Don't tell you a thing. Okay? Don't tell you one single thing. You go there, you sit there, man, and the whole hour you sitting there, they pitch you why you need to come there weekend boot camp for $500. You walk out there empty-handed, $500 short, because you get fired up. They tell you how you going to flip some houses, boy, and next month you're going to be rich. Anyway, get me off this subject. Okay. Oh, no, don't start talking about timeshares, man. Stop. Guys, you got... Anyway, so we all been to the rodeo, man. We done been there too many times. Anyway, I don't know why I went off on that tangent, but I think you need to understand, nothing's free. Okay, anyway, so okay, you got your registration, and your registration guests are free. Now, that's the best we can do for you. Your guests are free, so how do you make the meeting work for you? Yeah, you go there and pay your $20, but you make sure you get 5, 10 guests. You get all the guests you can. Man, you won't even think about that 15 or $5, whatever you pay for the meeting, man. You get you 5 or 10 guests there, you'll be so pumped up, you ready to get a speaker another 5, $10 for hosting whoever the event. And not to talk about the work that goes in behind the scenes and putting the meeting together, booking the hotel, talking to the hotel, making sure it's right, and then you put it on your credit card. Please, set up that meeting. Set your registration out front. Have guests signed. By the way, you need also for tax purposes say you did what? You conducted a meeting. Okay? Tax write-off, tax expense. You conducted a meeting. So you got a list of people. You got the date of the meeting. You got a list of names who attended. And you got a list of guests who attended. And the guests, of course, got a name and a phone number there. So also, you can also help follow up. And you also help with guests who may come from out of town who was sent there by somebody else. And you can help them get back to their sponsor. Because we work as one team. We're not stealing anybody. There's too many people out here for us to be stealing stuff. Okay? Number 5 I put on the list. You should also have a table at the back. What's that table in the back? I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this one more time. No, I'm not. I'm going to say this about 10,000 times for the rest of your life. Every single meeting you do, I don't care if it's one-on-one. I don't care if it's somebody's house. I don't care if it's in a hotel. I don't care if it's in a coliseum. You need to have a tool table, a support tool table set up. Okay, anytime you go to a meeting and you're not bringing CDs, you don't bring books, you don't bring those tools to help develop and build people, you're not just hurting yourself, you're hurting your team. So I can tell a person to go get a book, go to Barnes and Noble and pick up this book, go to Amazon and get this book, and man, they'll never get around to doing it. But I can bring that same book to a meeting and all 25 or 30 be sold right there on the spot. They'll get the book right then. Okay, and I'm not saying they're always going to read it, but they'll get the book and they may read some of it. I was at Barnes & Noble today. I dropped another $200 at Barnes & Noble today buying Brian. I bought every Brian Tracy No Excuses book they had. I bought about 5 or 6 John Maxwell books. Val was listening to his call. Val probably don't know. I went to Barnes & Noble, dropped another $200 on books. I don't go anywhere. I say I'm a nuclear explosion waiting to happen everywhere I go. My car is full of books. It's full of CDs everywhere I go. Everywhere. Okay, I'm telling you right now, I know some of you, look, I believe in technology. I use the technology, but still you got these 50, 60-year-olds, and please hear me when I tell you, nothing is more powerful than popping in a CD and hitting play in their car. But how do they get the CDs? And I'm gonna use Richmond as one example, because in Richmond last week, I asked how many people have heard Vernon King's CD. I call it You and the Next Big Thing. That's why I titled it. Some people call it the Christmas CD, whatever. Okay, believe me, that's one of the top 3 or 4 most powerful recruiting tools I've heard in my 35 years. And I asked that room of 100 plus people who've heard that CD, and 2 people have heard it. 2. And they heard it the day it was played, the day that Sherry Brown played it on the Power Call 4 months ago, 5 months ago, before Christmas. I'm just telling you, you're hurting your business. If you're not using tools, my wife and I have used tools, CDs, cassettes, before there was cassettes and CDs, to build 3 organizations doing millions of dollars a month. Okay, they work 25 hours a day, 7 days a week. Now, I understand we can get away with that, but sometimes comfortability, sometimes success can be an enemy of your success. I mean, if you're already making 5 or 10 grand a month, you're happy, say, what I'm doing is working. Yeah, but maybe just perhaps, if you were masterfully getting tools out to your team, masterfully encourage your team to read, masterfully get the information out to your team, you might be at $20,000 a month. You don't know. An enemy of success is success. Somebody posted today a powerful post about how Exit passed on Google. $750,000 to buy Google. The CEO said, nah, we all right, we good. And they were good. But they aren't good compared to Google today. People passed on Amazon. Okay, because they said, nope, I'm good. I don't need that. That's what happens when you find yourself at 5, 10, 20 grand a month. So you got to keep your mind open. You got to say, am I doing everything? See, I use it all. I use the technology. I use the Bluetooth for my car. I use all this stuff. I download all this stuff. But, man, I carry a stack of CDs everywhere I go. And when I pass out my business card, I'm putting a CD in somebody's hand. And I don't dare go do a meeting anywhere. Ask anybody who's ever seen me do a meeting. Said Tyrone bring books and CDs every single meeting he goes to. And I know everybody won't listen, everybody won't read, but I always know I'm just looking for one person to want to be the Joseph in their family. I'm always looking for the one. I'm not looking for 500. I'm looking for the one. Because I know all it takes is one to change the organization around. Just one. And I believe in my heart the biggest and the greatest recruiters in this industry have never even got in this company yet. They don't know we exist. They still think it's 8 years old. They think the opportunity's past. Man, we haven't even got started. You stand on any corner in America and talk about Carabaos, and 95, 96% of people don't even know what you're talking about. And if they heard about Carabaos, they still don't know what you're talking about. I'm on the phone with Lady Lisa yesterday, and she's telling me how she gave a CD about a year ago to some guy. And his friend come on his house. This is true story. This just yesterday. A friend goes to the guy's house, sees the guy, said, man, what's those CDs all about? The guy said, man, somebody gave me those CDs, something about making money. I'm not going to listen to those things. And the guy said, can I listen to them? He said, yeah, you told him to take them. He took the CDs, got excited, called Lisa, and got started. See, they work just like our whole system. Our internet system work 25 hours a day, 7 days a week. The CDs work 25 hours a day, 7 days a week. But more importantly, the CD can be heard over and over and over and over again. If you hear something one time and you think you got it, I'm sorry. We know for a fact the average person got to hear something 7, 8, 9, 10 times before they get it. How in the world could that powerful message by Pastor Vernon King be out there and two people? I did the same thing in D.C. I mean, I had 200 of them babies in D.C. They all gone now. I went to D.C. I had 500 CDs. I gave out a bunch and sold a bunch for $2. I said, man, burn them all, burn them all. I'm not trying to be the CD business. I want you to understand the power of the CD. We got a CD out there called Plant the Seed, Clarence Hubbard. I bet you, I don't know if you heard it. It's called Plant the Seed. Why did I make that CD? To teach me understanding. It's not what you do that's going to make you wealthy and care about. It's what you get started. I can't take credit for all this stuff that's going on in this organization. Tens of thousands of people all over the world. I take credit for getting started, for saying yes when I got the phone call and taking action and doing things that can duplicate. What was stated in Saturday's training is not, look, it's not being unique. You want to do what duplicates. What duplicates? Anybody can pass out a CD. Anybody don't understand anything about cryptocurrency, don't understand gold, don't understand why you can save gold, can hand a CD to anybody. Okay? Another reason why you have CDs every meeting. Person get excited, they all pumped up, right? But they don't know what they pumped up. They excited in the room. They all pumped up, they charged up, man, they ready to go. Okay? Watch this. They go home, they don't know what they're talking about. But if you put a CD in their hand, they listen to the CD on the way home, they got a little bit more information. They go, wow. And their friend says, what's it all about? I don't know. But guess what they can do? They can hand them a CD and say, man, listen to this. Okay? I send care packages out right now. This is a fundamental thing I hadn't done in years in carrot bars. I'm in the process now of sending care packages out to people. Man, pop this in, pop this in, pop this in. Why? Because they will listen to them. Okay? Anyway, all those things. We've sent out probably 1,000 packages with the WWP, and all of them have what? Free CDs in them. Why? Because I 100% believe. Anyway, so don't have a meeting. Well, I have a table in the back. Okay? And you can go to Amazon. I sell these books at the same thing they cost me. That Brian Tracy book, go to Barnes Noble. It's $7.98. I said, people, give me $8. You got the book. Okay? Okay, go on Amazon. You can get Dennis Kimbrough's Think and Go Rich. You can get have these tools ready because you're not because of instant pay, because you're thinking down the line. You want to develop leaders. Okay? Get name badges at your meetings. Okay? Look, I can't remember everybody's name. I can't. I'm trying. Okay? But you can't either. I know you can't. So help the leaders out, folks, so they don't look so goofy. And you have a meeting, okay, have name tags at every meeting. Just go to Office Depot and get some little name tags. Cost you like $5, get 500 of them. And have everybody fill out a name tag when they get there. It'll help everybody get what? More familiar. People start remembering names. That's important. That's important. Hey, Miss Deborah Nixon, and I love Miss Deborah Nixon says about the Caesar term. I know she listened to him when she commented on him on the power call. I know she listened to him. Look, in fact, she said some things about what they think the other day, made me go back and listen to it again myself. I go, whoa, people not listening to this stuff. It's some power. I'm talking about my own September's power information, that thing. I'm telling you, I got about 100 different CDs here. I only use about 10 or 20 in rotation all the time. I had to go back and hear what they think again. I had to go back. Attitude makes it happen. That's a CD, folks, I made 20 years ago. I send it out right now, and somebody said, man, that is powerful. You sound young. When did you make this CD? I said, 1996. They go, the information like you made it last week. I said, no, because people don't change. The industry don't change. The objections don't change. The stupid excuses people have don't change. Why? Because the biggest challenge we have is getting people's attitude right. I'm talking fast. I'm almost finished. Okay. Make sure you got a Carabaos band in the front room. Have some Carabaos paraphernalia in the front of the room. Get you a Carabaos band if you're going to have a meeting. Make it look like you're in Carabaos when people get there. Okay, now, when you start the meeting, every meeting, if the meeting's in your house, you don't you welcome people to your house. If you're having a meeting in your house, you say, I want to welcome all my friends. Thank you guys for coming out. We have a speaker. You don't do the meeting in your house. I mean, if it's a one-on-one, do it. But if you invite 5 or 10 people to your house, you are the messenger, not the message. So you don't want to give the meeting because you have a more effective meeting when you have somebody come into your house and do the meeting for you. That's the best way. I'm going to cut to the chase on that. But anyway, so you're at the hotel, you're doing a meeting, you have somebody welcome all the people there. Okay? Find somebody who's plugged in, okay, who's a little nervous, don't want to talk, and you got to push them out. You got to push them out the nest, folks. You got to push them. Look, you're going to welcome everybody. Go, what? I got to welcome everybody. Yeah, you can do it. 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 Go up there and say, I want to welcome everybody. And then they all trembling, their knees buckling. It's okay. And then after they do it, what conquers fear? Action conquers fear, folks. So once they do that, and they're going to do what? They're going to introduce not the guest speaker, they're going to introduce the host. The welcome person is introducing the host. Welcome everybody, take your seats, have a good time. Thank you very much. Rah, rah, rah. Let's get it started. And have some music playing. Somebody, somewhere, take responsibility and bring some music. Some music everybody can relate to. You got to be concerned. You just can't go crazy too far to the left or too far to the right. You got to bring music everybody can feel to some degree. Okay? You ain't got to be blasting everybody. You got a lot of senior citizens there. Can't be blasting me so loud, but you got to have some music. Now, the welcome person, they welcome everybody. Then they introduce the host. So I want to welcome everybody. Thank you for coming to the DMV, blah, blah, blah. And then they introduce the host. Say, welcome everybody. Thank you. Thank you. We got some powerful information. And then they introduce the speaker. And they do a full edification of the speaker. Incredible person, nice person, loving person. Man, he's going to present this information to you about the most incredible opportunity you ever seen in your lifetime, blah, blah, blah. You know the story. And they introduce the speaker. Then the speaker can do the meeting. If he's doing a whole meeting, fantastic. In my particular case, I like to have people in the room do the meeting. That's why most of the meetings I go to, especially around Virginia, I have the Thompson twins do the host, do a welcome. Mr. Wesley Thompson, kind enough to do the presentation most of the time. Mr. Tyrone Banks do the presentation. Mr. Matthew Taylor do the presentation. All the folks do the presentation. Okay? Spread that thing around. Spread that response around. But you're not just spreading around. You're teaching and getting your team and your leaders, you're developing your leaders this sense of comfort. So you learn how to speak in front of people and be more comfortable doing that until the day comes and says, you got the board and easel. You stand in front of the room. You tell the story. Okay? You help them overcome their fear one step at a time. And then when you close that meeting, that speaker should turn it back over to the host. Okay? And then the host, okay, should say, wait a minute, we got a few people in the room that I want you to meet who've been active in the program. We got a brand new gold manager. Hey, and if it's too many people there for it, just have them stand up and wave and say something where they're standing. Got to speak loud. But if you got the space, you got the time, bring 3 or 4 of them up to the room and let them, and you got to be diligent about this. You got 30 seconds to a minute because people already been sitting for 45 minutes. And by the way, while I'm at it, your Wealth Builder Worldwide event or opportunity, a private goal reception, you should do everything you can to keep that meeting under 1 hour. I would say typically 45 minutes. The average person, the attention span is gone after 45 to 50 minutes. It's gone anyway. If you got them sitting there for 2 hours, you give them that one time. They're not coming back. Because they're going to say, oh, man, they do that meeting all the time. That's 3 hours. Now, if you told them up front, if it's a Super Saturday weekend, that's a different story. I'm talking about your Tuesday or Monday night or Thursday night presentation should be like 1 hour. Now, you can stay for 2 hours, but the formal presentation should be 45 minutes to an hour tops. Okay? Demi Sanjay, what I call an incredible presentation last Saturday morning because that thing was done in 30 minutes, and I still think he covered everything needed to be covered and everything everybody's going to remember. And then get more details by plugging into what? The launch party is doing by Tanisha Glassford throughout the week. The launch party we're doing tonight when this call is over. Okay? Now, while I'm on that subject, let me throw this out there. Everybody, do your own thing. I'm not the boss. I'm going to give you a suggestion. Okay? If you're doing a Super Saturday, my humble opinion, based on my experience, your Super Saturday should start at 1 o'clock. Okay? At the earliest. Okay? People with jobs got stuff to do Saturday morning. That's the only time they got things to do. So you're pulling them away from the one time of the day they got to go to the cleaners, they got to go get the car, they got to cut whatever they got to do. Saturday's their day to do it. Now, they'll get up early Saturday morning and do those things, but if you take their Saturday morning from them, you pretty much took all Saturday from them. So you got to be thinking about, not you got to be thinking about them. The best time to have a Super Saturday from 1 to 5, okay? Or say 1 to 4. Okay, I'm just telling you. You do about a 30 to 45-minute presentation. You break, get the people signed up, come back at 2, and now you do your 2-hour training. So your Super Saturday is 3 hours, literally from 1 to 4. Why do you have the room from like 12 to 5? Because, of course, no one goes home. At 4 o'clock, they'll mingle around the room, and you finally have to tell them, you don't have to go home, but you got to leave here. You don't have to go home, but you got to leave here. Okay? So 1 to 4, 3 hours tops. This 4 or 5 hours is dragging out too long for you. That 1 hour, that 45 minutes, for guests are free. Boom, boom. You break, let them go out, sign up new people, do whatever you got to do, come back, and then you do your 2-hour fundamental training to get them started. That's your Super Saturday. They had all morning to do what they have to do. And by the way, I tell you another reason why you started late on Saturday afternoon. Because then if you do it on Saturday afternoon, you got people who, they don't have the hotel expense. You got to be thinking about other people all the time. They don't have the hotel expense. But they'll get up Saturday morning at 6 o'clock, and they'll drive 3-4 hours to come to your Super Saturday. And they spend that 3 hours there, and they hop back in their car, and they drive 3 hours to get back home. And they didn't have any hotel expense. But if you start to meet at 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning, that means you either got to get 5 o'clock to get there, okay, or they got to come there the night before, and they got to incur hotel expense. You got to think about all these things, okay? It's just a suggestion, okay? Now, like we did this last Superstar Saturday, we did it from 10 to 2. It worked out great. It worked out great. But I'm going to tell you something. Most of the people showed up after 11 o'clock. See, I observe things like this. Okay, that's not a quick put down. The meeting was great. It was exceptional. But many people missed the first 35 to 40 minutes. Okay, why? Because it started at 10 o'clock in the morning. They weren't there. They come rolling in about 11 o'clock. I mean, when I first walked downstairs at 10 o'clock, it looked like 25, 30 people. It looked like, we don't know what's going on. And then by 11 o'clock, the room was packed. Why? Just people's schedule. Got to respect that thing about people on Saturday morning and what they're doing. We're trying to get them out of that routine, get them another routine. But so keep that in mind. You can continue doing what you want to do. But I'm telling you, you want to pack the house, have your Super Saturday start at 1 o'clock and go 1 to 4. And let them know it's going to be 1 to 4. Okay? Recognize people. Okay, we got all this stuff done. Oh, one last thing. If there's any time you want to put on your Sunday best, it's at Super Saturday, or it's when you're doing an opportunity. Why? Because the guests are coming and they're judging the business, not by the information, the facts, and all the information presented. They're judging the business by the people in the room. So if you come through like you just got out of bed and you just came from the beach, well, it says something about the business. You're not that serious about the business, and it reflects on everybody else's business. I hope you understand. I'm not saying you always got to be suited up, okay? But try to be as neat and professional. I tell people, I say, wear what you wear to church. Be neat. Be professional, okay? As best you possibly can, okay? Especially at the opportunity. Training, relax yourself. Training people already in the business. But look, one person. See, it's always think about the one. One person could come to that presentation. And because we started 7:15 instead of right at 7 o'clock or 7:10, that one person could have been the one that could put 10,000 people in your business and they turned off. Or they came to the presentation and now it's not your problem, it's their problem. But in order to build our business with people, we got to be aware of other people's mentality, their problem. And we got to address their problem if we would like to bring them into our family, bring them into the fold. We got to be aware of what they're thinking. Okay? Anyway. And I'm not saying any of us got to be perfect. I'm just saying just be aware of all these things. What are you conveying about your business all the time? Okay? So anyway, with that in mind, I don't know what time it is again. I went off, but I felt like it's important to cover some of those things. I hope everybody took some notes, got these things in mind. Hope everybody's reading. Hope everybody's listening to CDs. I hope everybody's getting those things out of your team. Because if you're not feeding your team information to help them grow, they're going to be next year this time the same place. I don't mean the same place financially. I mean, because they can luck up and trip across somebody, okay? They're going to be the same place mentally and emotionally. In order to build your business, in order to build your team to thousands of people, you must first build the people, and the people will build the business. Build the people, and the people will build the business. And how do you grow? You can't get there by using the same information you got to where you are today, okay? That's why reading books is so important. That's why listening to seeds is so important. That's why associating with winners, other people going so with dreamers. I don't use the word winners. I hate to use that word winners and losers. Associating with dreamers, people who believe in the power of their dream. Good evening, Ms. Abram. Do we have any time for the Q?
Well, Mr. Best, it is I were.
Well, look, I was talking to my man, Mr. James Mangum, last night. And he said, Mr. Best, I'll tell you something. You always talk about there is no try, there's only do. He said, well, man, there's one place you dropped the ball with the try thing. He said, every week on the Freedom Call, you said, I'm gonna try to be finished by 10:30. I'm gonna try. He said, Mr. Best, there is no try, there's only do. And man, you failed miserably in that Wednesday night Freedom Call, telling me you're gonna try to be finished in 30 minutes. Because folks, all this stuff, I mean, these are little things, but they make a big difference in your business. Because you're just one person away from becoming wealthy. Let me share this with you. Now, I mean, we ain't got to try to open the cube. That's okay. Let me share this one story with you. I got a guy who's been in the business for about 2-3 years. Love this brother, right? And hadn't been to Let's Go Weekend, hadn't been to events, saw the plug in, don't plug in, just not quite on the same page. But here's the power of Carrot Bars. He sponsored one guy. He done sponsored quite a few people, Blue Dots, and a lot of them stuff, the usual stuff we go through in the business. But he sponsored one guy. And that one guy got a 50,000, a 50K. That's 57,000 US dollars, one package. Okay? He made over $5,000 on that one purchase. That's one thing. But the $5,000 is not life changing. It'll change your life for a couple months, maybe. I don't know, a month. Depends on what you do with the $5,000. But what he received from Carrot Bars, because he found that one person, that's going to change his life. Because he received over 390,000, almost 400,000 KCB coins, because he ran across, he's out there talking to folks, one person who bought a 50K pack. Now you can do the value for, you can do the math and figure out the value that 400,000 coins is right now. But can you imagine when the 400,000 coins at $1, that's $400,000 for that one transaction. They go to $10, he's made $4 million on that one transaction. That's the power of what you have in your hands. You're always looking for that one, always thinking about that one. Okay? Now, I'll take 1 minute. If somebody's burst at the scenes, got something they really got to say. Otherwise, folks, at 11 o'clock, we going to the launch party, and I can't wait to go to the launch party. I know I'm fired up. I share all this stuff with you, but I wanted to teach you something this evening about doing these meetings, because everybody's doing meetings. I want meetings and events, and I want us all to get on the same page. And what's the next event? The next event is launch party. What's the next event after that? Is the power call tomorrow morning. And what's the big event? The big event is Let's Go Weekend, and it's sold out. And what I say all the time, come anyway. Be there anyway. Be there anyway. Okay, get there anyway by any means necessary. I don't care if you're in the lobby, standing outside the door. You're going to get fired up when you see all that energy and all those folks from all around the world at Let's Go Weekend 8. Manifest. So, Miss Abram, let's try 1 or 2 quick ones and we out.
Good evening, Mr. Best.
Yes, sir.
Here we go.
Dr. Patrice, listen, I'm going to be real brief, but I want to thank you, sir, for this training tonight, because for us to have the luxury of pulling off of you and Miss Best wisdom and experience over the last 32 plus years is absolutely amazing. You think of things that most of us would never even think, but that puts us in a position to have the best meetings on the planet. I want to thank you, sir, on behalf of myself and Lady Lisa.
Thank you. Let's go one more time. And we going to goldrocks.info, goldrocks.info.
Well, Mr. Best, I don't think it's fair that I open up the queue, because I think everybody's comment will be important.
Okay.
What I just want to say is I want to end with my comment.
Okay.
I learned tonight, because this is one thing I was not doing with my meeting. I never had name tags. And that's when you said get name tags, I'm like, why didn't you ever tell me that before? So, thank you. So I never have had name tags at the meeting, and I'm meeting in California this Saturday. I'm going to have some name tags. So thank you very much, Mr. Best.
Hey, thank you. And I'm telling you, folks, there's a lot of stuff I do forget, and you have to remind me sometimes of just things. That's why I really sat down and thought about, what I wanted to share with you guys this evening. And I know I'm sure I left out some things, but anyway, great call, great. That's not what I want to say. Anyway, folks, I want to thank everybody one more time for joining us on the Freedom Call. And next week, maybe I just have a freedom call. We just comment and ask questions. Me not teach anything or say anything. Okay. Be at Let's Go Weekend. Be there. It's going to be exciting for everybody. So, wait, one more thing while I got everybody on the call. I want to tell you with all my heart, tomorrow night at 10 o'clock, we're going to pack out that empowerment at goldrocks.info with our top income earner, Ms. Shirley Gober, Mr. Dr. Tim and Lucen, okay? And, of course, the panel of wealth builders as well. Be there tomorrow night. We got the 9 o'clock with Greg McKay, and then we got 10 o'clock with Ms. Shirley Gober and the whole wealth builders team. Man, you want to drive everybody you can to Gold Rocks tomorrow, because she's been doing that call. But now we've added that call to the goldrocks.info platform, man, and it was off the chain last week. I was blown away. Didn't have anything to say. I'm telling you, want to pack that thing. So anyway, let's head over to Gold Rocks. For those who got new people, text everybody and say, hey, you want to win this launch call? Well, let's launch party with Miss Tanisha Glass and Miss Sheila Abrams. And Miss Sheila Abram, as usual, I want to thank you. I want to thank Stephen as well. And thank you guys for all that you do. God bless everybody. Think about freedom, because that's what it's all about. Bye-bye.
All participants are unmuted. Goodbye.
Goodbye.